Thanks, Rita. Hello there. Welcome to the first look north of the week on the programme tonight. Hand yourselves in, a family's plea to those who killed a father of 3 in a brutal attack in Keighley, as prayers are said in his memory.
It's had a massive impact, not just on the wider Keighley community, but the Bradford community as a whole, and the West Yorkshire community too. And I think this kind of thing has ripples.
Police have asked anyone with information to come forward. Also tonight, families criticise the government's free childcare policy, calling it a birthday lottery. Needed in Operation Don't Come Last. And we meet the singer from Barnsley, headlining at Sheffield Arena's Young Voices concert after performing in the choir as a schoolchild.
Fairly changeable week to come. There will be some sunshine at times, but there is a warning for ice on untreated surfaces tonight. Join me for that week ahead forecast.
Hello there, good evening. Thank you for your company. Telling our children that their daddy had passed away is something that no mother should have to do. Those are the heartbreaking words of a grieving mom whose husband was murdered in a brutal attack in Keighley. Suhail Chowdhury was found with head injuries in Folsby Street just over a week ago, and sadly he died 3 days later. Today, people gathered at the scene to pray and to plead for information about how the 35-year-old died. Phil Bodmer has more.
A grieving community united in prayer in memory of a young father whose life was brutally cut short. Suhail Chowdhury was found with serious head injuries on Folsby Street in the early hours of last Sunday. Today, hundreds came together to pray and appeal to those who may have information about the circumstances around the 35-year-old's death on a Keighley back street.
It's had a massive impact, not just on the wider Keighley community, but the Bradford community as a whole, and the West Yorkshire community too. And I think this kind of thing has ripples, and it affects everybody. And I think if we don't do something about this now, you know, we don't want to have Suhail's life in vain, lost in vain. You know, we want people to make an active change.
In a statement issued on behalf of Mr. Shaban Chowdhury, Suhail's father, said, "We are heartbroken. Our family's world has been torn apart. Suhail was a loving son, brother and doting father to his 2 children. Suhail had his whole life ahead of him and was looking forward to the birth of his 3rd child. To those responsible, you know what you have done. Do the right thing and hand yourselves in." Suhail's wife Zara, paying tribute, said her husband was a father before anything. It was his proudest title and he was their world. Telling our children their daddy has passed away is something no mother should have to do. We will never find peace with the brutality in which he left us. 3 men who were arrested in connection with the incident have been released on police bail. A 42-year-old man arrested on suspicion of murder remains in custody. Officers are continuing to appeal for further information. Phil Bodmer, BBC Look North, Keighley.
So sad, and our thoughts are with his family. Next tonight, if you're the parent of a young child, you probably welcomed the announcement last year that the government's flagship free childcare scheme was expanding. It means that working families meeting certain criteria can now apply for 30 hours of funded childcare for babies from 9 months old. But families in West Yorkshire have told us that the policy is misleading because the funding is linked to the school terms, meaning many babies don't qualify until they're 12 to 14 months old. Nicola Rees can explain.
Want some help with this one? A camel.
In Ackworth near Wakefield, Caitlin and Matt treasure time at home with their son Ronan. They're both back at work now and say the cost of returning has hit their finances hard.
So much of my salary is going on to childcare. It's almost like I'm still on maternity pay. So we're still having to make a lot of sacrifices to make the money work. Little boy.
The couple were expecting to qualify for free childcare once Ronan hit 9 months old, but it wasn't quite as simple as they thought.
He was a couple of weeks late, which at the time I didn't really think anything of. We then realised about 4 months after he was born that the funded childcare, although it states that it starts when they're 9 months old, we weren't going to be getting it until he was a year old.
Caitlin says she feels misled. After all, the announcement from the PM in September last year was clear.
30 hours free for every child between 9 months and 4 years.
It is a massive expansion of publicly funded childcare, but the scheme is linked to school term time and can only be claimed from the term after a baby is 9 months old, meaning some will be 13 or 14 months before they qualify.
Are you smiling now?
In Leeds, another family have realised they too will have to wait longer to qualify. Baby Luca was born in January and won't get free childcare until next January.
We're missing out financially, but also in terms of my career itself. And it means I'm having to take additional time off, time off that is important to me as a working parent and somebody who really cares about their career.
The government says more than 500,000 families have benefited since September. And although waiting a term can feel frustrating, they say it's necessary to allow councils and nurseries to plan.
It feels like a birthday lottery. You can't help when your children arrive, and there's so many different loopholes as well. So in terms that the policy only covers term time, it doesn't cover school holidays. So in fact, you're actually not getting 30 hours of free childcare per week. Actually works out more around 15, 20.
So work to do for the policymakers, perhaps. But those who are eligible, whether at 9 months or 14, are still thousands of pounds better off since the scheme was expanded. Nicola Rees, BBC Look North, Wakefield.
We're going to talk about this a little bit further now with Rebecca Horn from the charity Pregnant Then Screwed. They're among campaigners calling for the link between free childcare and school terms to be scrapped. I asked her earlier to explain why.
I think the link should be scrapped purely because it's confusing. What happens is that parents hear 9 months, but what they actually get is 9 months plus however long until the next term starts. And that gap exists essentially because it's tied to that term timetable, but baby's actual age is more relevant way to measure that. And we do that for other systems like universal credit, access, that kicks in on birth dates. It's just this one little thing that's an admin quirk that's catching parents off guard.
The government says that this expansion of free childcare is a once-in-a-generation investment that will save families up to £7,500 a year. Are working families getting more help now with childcare than they ever have done before?
They are, and that's amazing. And the funded hours are something we really celebrated as a massive step forward for parents. The intention behind the policy is amazing. It's really good, and we're happy with that. But it's the implementation that's letting families down. Fixing that term time rule is a small tweak, but actually it would make an immediate massive difference to thousands of parents who are trying to stay in work.
It's all about balancing the books, though, isn't it? And there isn't an unlimited pot of money. So why do you think the government should be prioritising help for parents here?
I think planning shouldn't come at the expense of parents' ability to work. Of course, nurseries and councils need to plan, but that shouldn't mean that parents have to wait much longer for the support that they've been promised. Other parts of the childcare system already manage this rolling eligibility. We've got childcare schemes that start the date when a child becomes eligible, so we know it's possible, like tax-free childcare and universal credit. And also delaying support actually makes planning harder for parents and providers and employers because families drop out of the workforce and have to change their childcare arrangements, and that means less money going into the economy. And it's also a hindrance in the sense that this money's there, it's ready to be spent. It's literally just a few months that could cost parents thousands and potentially their job, and it's a really easy fix.
You put across some good points. Rebecca Horn from Pregnant Then Screwed, thank you. You are watching Monday's Look North, still to come on tonight's programme. We'll take a look at our football team's performances at the weekend, including Leeds United's FA Cup win against Birmingham City. Let's take a look at some of the day's other news now. And a man has been arrested on suspicion of murder following the death of a woman in Rotherham. The 37-year-old woman's body was found at a property in Clough Street by ambulance staff on Sunday evening. South Yorkshire Police said she'd previously been in contact with them, so a referral had been made to the Force's Professional Standards Department and the police watchdog. A 43-year-old man has been arrested and remains in custody. The family of a man who died after being hit by a car in Halifax has paid tribute to him today. Police say 69-year-old Andrew Naylor was crossing the road when he was hit by a white Audi A3 at the junction of Ovenden Road and Athol Gardens on Saturday morning. A 30-year-old man has been arrested and released on bail. Mr. Naylor's family said he had a heart as pure as gold and always had the biggest smile for anyone and everyone. An athletic stadium in Sheffield has been stopped from hosting competitive events. The City Athletic Stadium on Woodbourne Road has had its licence removed. It's run by Sheffield Hallam University, which said it couldn't afford a £1.5 million investment to meet the required standards. The stadium was chosen to replace Don Valley after it closed in 2013. And here's some stories now that are appearing on the BBC News app. You can scan the QR codes that appear on the screen to read these stories in full. First up, we speak to job seekers in Bradford. The city's unemployment rates are above regional and national average. Also on there is a teacher at a Leeds Academy that's been found guilty of unacceptable professional conduct after she whispered prompts to pupils sitting a GCSE French speaking exam. And a blind couple from Scarborough who are getting married in September say they hope their story can inspire others visually impaired people who are trying to find love. And you can get more details on those stories and everything else that's happening in our region by downloading the BBC News app. Have you been watching the Winter Olympics? I am absolutely loving it, in particular the bobsleighing, Sal. It's good to see you. I love Axel. I think his story's fabulous.
We've been absolutely glued to it over the weekend in our house. Yeah, let's start there with the Winter Olympics. Great Britain, of course, won 2 more gold medals yesterday on Super Sunday. Terrific achievements in the team snowboard and skeleton events. So we wanted to shine a light on a couple of other performances from Yorkshire athletes that might just have slipped under your radar. First up, bobsleigh. Axel Brown from Harrogate is competing for Trinidad and Tobago, the only bobsleigh team that's self-funded. And as Abby Jayola reports, everyone loves an underdog.
They're eagerly awaiting a glimpse of their very own Olympian here in Harrogate. But he's not Team GB, he's Team TT. Trinidad and Tobago. Axel Brown has dual nationality and volunteers at Horticap, a horticultural charity that offers training to people with learning and other disabilities. Axel recently popped in for a Christmas workout.
The sledge is borrowed, there's not much funding at all, so they've had to fund themselves. So I think, personally, they've done marvellously well. So we're dead proud of them. Trinidad and Tobago, with a bit of Yorkshire in that team.
Axel is not an Olympics novice. He competed in Beijing in 2022. The team here have got high hopes for him in the heats for the 2-man bobsleigh.
I hope he does well. It's a dangerous sport he's doing. So so I'm really chuffed. I hope he wins a medal.
What he's doing for the country is something that we all should embrace. And he's doing something that is amazing.
If he won a medal, that'd even better, won't it?
To be pushing to go under 5, that's the goal for tomorrow. So overall, really positive experience, just some things to tighten up on.
He didn't want to come last, and he didn't come last, he come second last, so he's won there!
And everyone here will be rooting for them. Abby Jayola, BBC Look North, Harrogate.
Go on, Axel. Now, and also last night, Sheffield's Luke Digby and his partner Anastasia Vapen-Law became the first GB skaters to compete in the pairs event at an Olympics since 2014. Now,
the whole event so far has been such top quality, and just the crowd out there, and as well seeing many British flags. We've got lots of family and friends, and I think just that whole energy just gave us that little extra tonight, and I think we kept our heads in the game, and we were nice and calm throughout the performance, and I think that really showed. And a personal best skate, I mean, I don't think we can ever ask for any more, especially at the Olympic Games.
Coverage of that starts at 7 o'clock on the BBC. Now, the new Super League season is underway, and after York Knights made a winning start to their debut in the league, Bradford Bulls were hoping to do the same in their return to the top flight after 11 years. Well, they certainly put in a strong performance against Hull FC, with Wonga Blake scoring the first try for the Bulls at 6 minutes. The match was all square with 3 minutes of regular time left on the clock before a drop goal and then a try from Cade Cust delivered the win to Hull by 27 points to 20. Football now, and the draw for the 5th round of the FA Cup has just taken place. Leeds have been drawn against Norwich City. It follows their win against Birmingham City yesterday. The match went to penalties after the game finished 1-1. Sean Longstaff scored the winner. The 5th round will be played around the weekend of the 7th and 8th of March. In the Championship, Andre Brooks scored a last-minute winner for Sheffield United against struggling Portsmouth. The Blades' 1-0 win takes them up to 15th in the table, within 6 points of the playoff places. But more misery, I'm afraid, for Sheffield Wednesday. There was a brief moment of joy for fans when they went ahead against Millwall before they conceded 2 goals. Defeat means they could be relegated next weekend. In League One, Barnsley squandered a 2-goal lead before dramatically equalising late on. Scott Banks firing home from close range to rescue a point in a 3-3 end-to-end draw with Wimbledon. And Bradford reinvigorated their playoff push with a 2-0 win over Peterborough. Goals from Bobby Poynton and this from Caden Jackson, heading home his first goal since signing from Derby. And in League Two, Chesterfield's hopes of earning a playoff spot took a dip after they were held to a draw by Harrogate. Lee Bonis gave the Spyrites an early lead but was sent off in the second half after receiving 2 yellow cards. And Tobias Brennan scored Harrogate's equaliser 6 minutes from time. For Harrogate, every point counts. They're in the relegation zone, 4 points from safety. And that for now is your sport.
Thank you, Sal. We'll be watching Axel. Is it tomorrow, the bobsleigh again?
Tomorrow, yeah.
Round 2, we'll be watching
and
that.
Luke
Thanks,
Digby
Sal.
tonight, 7 o'clock.
Yes. Oh, perfect TV viewing. Thank you. Now, Young Voices. It is the biggest children's choir in the world that brings primary-age youngsters together to perform in arenas. My children have done it and they absolutely loved it. It's celebrating its 30th anniversary this year. And over the years, stars such as Beverly Knight, Joss Stone and Gary Barlow have performed at their shows. Well, last week, it was the turn of Harriet Rose, a singer-songwriter from Barnsley, who was joined by 40,000 youngsters across 8 nights at Sheffield Arena. Let's have a look, shall we?
Grow up in a small town, always something going down. People need something to pass the time. Ooh, I'm moving on up. I said I'm moving on, moving on, moving on. This small town chase taking home.
Wasn't that a wonderful night? And she's here now. Harriet, really lovely to meet you.
Oh, lovely to meet you too.
I saw my little boy performing at the concert and I saw you and I thought you were absolutely amazing. How was it standing up on that stage performing?
It was, I've never done anything like that before, so it was my first ever time performing in an arena, standing on a stage of that capacity, and to be fair, the first night I was absolutely terrified, but after that it was just absolutely incredible and magical to even be a part of it, really.
But you were a part of it when you were 10 years old because you were in the choir.
Yes.
Can you remember what it felt like back then?
I remember everything about Young Voice. I mean, it was 2007, so quite a while ago now, but it came at a point in my life when I needed it, and I remember just the feeling, the magic involved in it, and feeling like I was a bit of a superstar at the time, but just absolutely loving it, and knowing from that point that I wanted to do music as well.
And so now to be on that stage as a guest performer, that must be really special.
It is. It's like a full circle moment, really. You know, 10-year-old she wanted to do it, and I can look at her and go, I've done it.
So tell us what you've got planned for the rest of the year, because there is a tour, isn't there?
There is, yes. We're starting next week, actually. Going on a tour, grassroots venues up and down the UK, but that's going to be really exciting. And as part of that, I'm trying some new music, some little bit different vibes, so we'll see how that lands. And then once that's finished, I'm going into the studio to record my first EP.
You've got a really unique sound. Where does your inspiration come from?
It is such a mix, an eclectic mix of my dad's influence, what he listened to when I was younger, my brother as well, there's a bit of that in there, the punk, and then a bit of country, that's me, what I like to listen to, and I think it just mashes together really, and people pull from it what they enjoy, I think. So some people hear the countryside, some people hear the indie side, and then it all just fuses.
Well, you were a joy to watch, so best of luck with what you've got in store next, and thanks for coming in.
No, thank you for having me. Thank you.
And we've got a treat in store because Harriet will be performing at the end of the programme. But first, look at this picture. It's not something you see every day, is it? A woman has been reunited with her prosthetic leg after it was swept out to sea almost a year ago. Brenda Ogden lost it when she went open water swimming, and it was found on the beach 10 months later by Lizzie Forbes, who met up with Brenda to give it back.
Oh, wow. Oh, thank you so much.
You're welcome. This was the moment Brenda Ogden got her leg back.
Oh, look.
It all started 10 months ago here on the beach at Bridlington. Brenda was looking forward to her first swim with the Flamborough Flippers. But as she entered the water, disaster struck.
A huge wave just come and knocked me off my feet, and I just fell completely over. And when I tried to stand up, I'd realised it was gone.
Brenda fell and I saw her leg drift off, and as I went to grab it, a wave came and took it, and yeah, never seen again.
Despite everyone's best efforts, there was no sign of the leg.
Small children were looking for it, old people were looking for it, dogs were looking for it. Everyone was looking for it, nobody found it.
It seemed the leg had gone for good. Until last week. Lizzie, a fossil hunter, was out combing the shoreline at Hornsea, some 12 miles down the coast, when she came across something a little unusual.
I looked at the cliff and I did a double take. I was like, that was weird. So I went across and had a look. When my eyes actually focused in, I thought, oh, it's a leg. And then I thought, oh no, where's the rest of the person? You know, I'm looking up the cliff thinking, surely someone's not fallen down the cliff.
Thanks to social media, the two were quickly connected, and after 10 months kicking about at the bottom of the North Sea, the leg is now finally back with Brenda.
Really, really, really lovely. Because it was something I'd never thought I'd see again. And you get very attached to things. You know, this isn't part of my body. You know, it's one of my legs. Without it, you're not going anywhere, are you?
Brenda can't wait to get back in the sea. And the rest of the Flamborough Flippers helped her celebrate with a bottle of bubbly.
Don't get legless.
Jake Zuckerman, BBC Look North, Bridlington.
Isn't that absolutely brilliant story and good humour there as well? Hello, good to see you. Is it wild swimming weather this week?
Well, not in the North Sea, 7 degrees. I wouldn't go in there, would you? But I mean, it's better than it was.
Well, half term though, the sun came out today, which we're very thankful for.
It looks all right tomorrow. No, so this number of consecutive wet days, we reached 36. Can you believe it?
I can actually, yes, I felt it.
So at least the pattern of weather's changed, but there was quite a bit of snow actually, and this was taken. Wow. That's Top Withens actually, Wuthering Heights land. That was taken on Saturday morning, and there were similar scenes further north. That's Malham Tarn, looking like the Alpine region, isn't it? But it didn't last too long because it's all melting now, and in fact the message by next weekend is very mild air on the way as we head towards the end of February. But if you've got any nice pictures you want to get on the TV, X, Instagram and the Weather Watcher website is where you should head. But we do start with an ice warning because we've got a number of heavy showers to push down from the northwest tonight. They will clear and then temperatures fall into freezing points, so I'm sure the gritters will be out in force later tonight. Tuesday looks a fine day. Might just hang on to the fine weather through Wednesday before these weather fronts threaten at least some rain towards the end of the week, Thursday into Friday. Now, we had a number of showers running through South Yorkshire for a time, but we're looking up to the north. It's this area of rain which will push southeastwards through the course of the night, and it may well be heavy enough to turn a little bit wintry, especially over the hills, but it'll clear out of the way. Skies clear behind, so temperatures falling away. A few showers for the coast, but a widespread frost. Watch out for ice, temperatures around freezing point, especially in countryside areas. So tomorrow's high water time, Scarborough 4:09, Bridlington at 4:38. So risk of a few showers in coastal areas. Other than here, it looks as though it's going to be fine across much of the rest of the region. Plenty of sunshine around, but there will be a cold wind, a fresh northerly along the coast. You'll know about that in Keighley and Scarborough. Temperatures around 4 or 5 degrees. Elsewhere, 6 Celsius is 43 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, looking further ahead, it looks like Wednesday should be mostly fine. A risk of some rain Thursday and Friday, unsettling into the weekend. But look at these temperatures towards the end of February. 12 or 13 degrees by then. And Amy, that's the forecast.
Oh, it's like the Caribbean. We'll have that. 12 degrees. What a treat. Thank you.
Thanks.
Well, that is it from us. I will be back on the late news at 10:30. Do be careful if you're out driving. Paul mentioned there that there's lots of ice. Bye-bye for now.
There's something about these days, got a feeling that